there's no way, I know for sure, had I stayed in the department I was in, that I would have been able to accomplish any of that.
I know that early on in your career, you almost actually left one of your employers because they didn't have professional development opportunities for you. Can you tell us more about what that experience was like for you and how you overcame that and kind
Yes.
of charted your own story?
Yeah, sure. So I was working for an organization where I just in early in my career I felt like I needed to I just got this bug where I was just so curious and I wanted to see how much more I can do with my degree. I had just gone to school, I just graduated from a master's degree. It was I had put a lot of work into it, and I was just very curious to see, what else can I do out there? What more is there for me to do? And where I was currently working, there were just not opportunities for that in that, I guess, micro group that I was in.
Hmm.
So it and later on, I realized that I wasn't the only one, actually. There were many of my peers who felt the same way as well. And they also got to a point where they wondered, is there more out there for me? Is there more I can do? Because they felt like they were perhaps being like limited. Their growth and development was limited where they were.
Hmm.
So and then just again another thing, a matter of time, being in the right place, at the right time with the right people. One of those things happened where I overheard about this rotational program in the same company, and there was a lot of risk to be taken because it was a new sort kind of a new program. There were no guarantees. If you join the program, you will go and explore a series of different departments.
Hmm.
There was no guarantees that you will get a promotion. If you were up for a promotion at a certain time in your career. And there were no guarantees that you will get you will land a new job there, or a series of things. So I jumped at the opportunity of joining the program, and that was like one of the best decisions I made in my career. So, and that's how that all ends up tying into what I do now and why I do what I do now, because that program retained me for that long. It changed everything for me and for my peers as well, who were at one point considering, maybe leaving the company to get to explore those other options out there.
Hmm.
Now we didn't have to leave the company to explore those options. Now we can explore them within, our own, organization, our own company. So um, that was just a wonderful experience. It put me out there, and I put myself out there. I got to explore different areas of interest. I
Hmm.
got to run into a lot of people in the company that I would have never had access to, senior leaders that would take me under their wing per se, and just sit down with me and have conversations. And I was able to meet some wonderful people that definitely helped shape my career. And it was definitely a pivotal moment in my career, being able to get out there and really be exposed to other leadership styles, other mentors, other even microcultures in the organization. And then by the end of the program, just getting to see what happened to me and what happened to my peers. That was there was no more truth than that. It didn't get more real than that. It's just like, wow, this really is how we can grow and develop, and how we can find what we're truly passionate about, and how we can um, just expand and beyond our current capabilities. So
Yeah, that is really cool. Was it a longer rotational program? How long were you rotating for?
the program was initially only for 2 years, and it's actually traditionally only for 2 years. And you go to different or to different stops for maybe 6 months at a time. But my rotation was different because how do I explain it? So it it was different. So in the middle of my rotation, maybe towards the beginning, I got pregnant. I had my
Oh,
first son. So
yay.
I stepped away for maybe a few months. And immediately after, when I was ready to come back, they took me back in. So I was able to rejoin the program. So I had that stretch right there. But aside from that, also, in because of the development that I was experiencing during my rotations, I and a few other peers from the program were selected to do this special project. So we were pulled out from a
Hmm.
rotation we had just started to work on this special project for our VP at the time.
Hmm.
So we did that for a couple of months. It was a quick turnaround project. So we did that for a couple of months, and then we were put back into another rotation of our choice. And then when I was in that rotation, uh, it became almost like a nature. Like it was every rotation was so different, and every time I feel like I got better
Hmm.
at, okay, I got the hang of this, I know how to do it, I'm gonna hit the ground running from the start. And so I had more success each time, I feel like. So and then on my last rotation, because I was able to land a full-time position with a promotion at one of the program offices, I ended up having to cut that rotation short. So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't really, a normal time frame. Um, I got kind of like an extra rotation in there. Then I had a break in there, and I also ended up cutting one of them shorter because the company decided they needed me more in this in my new job, my new role in that new program office. So I had to wrap the other one up quickly. So
Yeah. Not only did you have a really good rotational experience, but as a function of the rotational experience, you were able to land in a role after post rotation that you really enjoyed and found very fulfilling. Would you attribute that mostly to the fact that you were able to rotate through and see so many different things?
absolutely. Yeah, there is no way. There is no way. I know for sure, had I stayed in the department I was in, that I would have been able to accomplish any of that. There's no way. The reason I did was because I was put in front. I gained visibility. I got out there literally and physically. So I was seen by other senior leaders of the company who, saw potential and,
Hmm.
probably opportunities, that if you don't put yourself out there, you don't know they're there. So
Yeah.
and certainly, I mean, coming from being an engineer to working in a program management office, it is not something that you can just transition to. um, you know so definitely my the experience that I gained during my rotations in the program office, and all these different projects, it definitely set me up for that. I know for a fact that when I had the interview to get in that position in the management office, the reason they wanted me was because of my previous experience in the other program offices.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for watching this segment of the Engineering Success Podcast. If you liked it, make sure to check out the other videos down below that are recommended to you. And if you really like the podcast, make sure to subscribe right down there in the middle. Really appreciate it. It's free to you and helps us a lot out. And last but not least, the best way to help the show grow is to comment down below. So leave your comment if you have any thoughts about this segment. Thanks.
I ain't chasing payments, still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.